Hey, Nish here, and today I've got a review of the Anker Spirit Dot 2 true wireless earphones. These are a very compact, workout-orientated earbud. They come in at the cost of about £60 or $80. Let's jump straight into the review though. So the earbuds come in this very compact carrying case. This is a very common format nowadays. This case has a small battery in it, and then the earbuds have the battery themselves. When you put them in, they get charged. Taking the earbud in hand, you can see they are very small, very compact. These really don't protrude out of your ear, and if you have long hair, it pretty much covers them up. People don't even know you're wearing them. You can see there's this kind of little bit of brass branding, nice little touch there. So I was drawn to these earphones because they've been commended for their fit. They have this patented air wing technology, which is basically this rubber kind of squishy thing around the kind of band of the earbud. And what this does, it allows it to sit quite nicely in your ear canal. You can also really well customize the kind of fit because there's 3 air wing type things and there's 4 different tip sizes. I do find these are really well fitting. As you can see by my head banging efforts, it's really hard to get them out and they won't fall out really. I've found I've ran with these, I've skipped with these, and I've really not had any problems. Sometimes you do have to adjust it and kind of make sure the tip's all the way in. Did I just say that? You know, sometimes you have to adjust it maybe after 10 minutes to make sure it's in there properly, but I've never had them fall out. The buds are IPX7 and sweat-proof. Now what this means is they can take water, they can be submerged into water, and they're protected against sweat as well, sweat being different to just regular water. This is really important for a workout bud because the other ratings you'll see, IPX4, 5, and 6, those are not as good in terms of their protection. They're only rated for splashes, jets, and strong jets of water. Now, I'm not saying you're going to submerge these. They're not rated for swimming or anything like that. But the point is that if they are IPX7 or 8, that means you know that the seals are really robust and really maybe built to last a longer time. Now, battery life is, I'd say, pretty average on these. You've got 5 hours on the buds themselves. And then along with the case, that adds about 15 hours onto that. So you can kind of charge them in the case. It's a very typical setup as you get these days. I think that's pretty average. They are very, very tiny earbuds, so I wasn't expecting anything amazing. And I think that's generally not too bad. They don't take too long to charge. I think they say something like 10 minutes of charging will give you an hour of listening. So if you do run out, you're not going to be without your tunes for too long. As for the case, it's very compact, very pocketable. Though I'm not huge on this sliding mechanism, it feels a little bit loose at times and I'm not sure how durable it's going to be. It's another thing that I'm going to have to monitor. I've only been using these for about 2-3 months so far. So the Spirit Dot 2s support Bluetooth 5, which means they have a pretty damn good range. I'd say 5 meters, maybe even 10 meters. If you happen to need that functionality, then it's really handy to have that range. However, they don't support aptX, which is kind of a HD high-res audio quality. I'm not too fussed about this, and I'm going to talk about sound later on in the video. The connecting with these is very straightforward. There's no fancy NFC pairing options. You unfortunately just have to go through the standard kind of set it in pairing mode and then connect on your phone or device or whatever. It doesn't support multi-point connections, so you can only connect to one device at a time, but obviously you can pair to multiple devices and then just make sure the right device has Bluetooth on when you turn them on or take them out of the box. That's actually a point. When you remove them from the box, they'll start pairing. So they don't pair until you've taken them out of the case, which is pretty good. And they'll also unpair when you put them back into the case. One of the other features of the way the wireless is working is that each earbud independently connects to the Bluetooth source. And what sometimes happens in cheaper devices is only one of the buds will connect to the source and then the other bud will be paired up to that. Now they say the benefit of this is lower latency when you're watching videos. However, in my experience watching videos like on my phone, there was noticeable latency and it's not as good as, for example, my Sony 1000XM3s. They have a lower latency. So I wouldn't really recommend these for watching videos. That being said, one benefit of this pairing independent thing going on is that you can use either earbud completely independently without the other one. So if you just want to use one earbud for whatever reason, you can just take that one out and it will pair up and work as normal. The controls on these earbuds are very minimal. There's no buttons at all. There's basically 2 touch buttons on each earbud, which you can press or long press. There are no volume controls, so you can't change volume on the fly, though I do find that's something you tend to set at the start and just leave, so I'm not too fussed about that. The touch controls themselves, you can do play and pausing, answering calls, and also skipping. I did find there's a bit of a learning curve to pressing with the right amount of pressure and in the right place. I could say that it's a really bad control mechanism. I'd rather just have a button. But to be honest, it's one of those things you have to get used to using a couple times and then it gets more reliable. Let's move on to talking about the sound quality. Now these are workout orientated buds, so I wasn't buying these because I wanted a high-res listening experience. I wanted something that first and foremost fit well, and I will say the sound is very average in here. If I'm sitting at home listening to these, I'm really not impressed, and I'm reaching for my other headphones, my other earphones. Even my cheap Sony EX650 earphones are way better than these. It's hard to say, it's just not as high quality. They say they have a lot of bass, and the bass is alright, but it's just the overall clarity, and it just doesn't sound great. But it's nothing awful, and I think certainly if you're out running or at the gym, you're not going to be sitting there being like, wonderful sounds. You're just going to be focused on what you're doing, and you just want a bit of tunes to accompany that. So from that perspective, I'd say the sound is everything it needs to be. It's like a par. The only slightly interesting thing is the volume on these, and I don't know if it's my Samsung S8, but I found them to be very quiet, and particularly for podcasts, which tend to be recorded at a much lower level, I was cranking the volume up to nearly maximum in order to get like kind of a good listening volume. With music, it's alright, music gets plenty loud, but yeah, it's just something to be aware of if you like your music really loud, or if you like to listen to podcasts in loud environments, then maybe watch out. So this is the part of the video where I talk about other options you could potentially consider, and this is a particularly difficult one because there are a stupid number of options, and to be quite honest, I get like completely overwhelmed when I'm on Amazon and there's just so many different brands and things. So I'm just going to keep it simple and mainly talk about Anker's offerings. They have a whopping 7 different true wireless earphone kind of thing. Like this is just one company with 7 models. But in terms of workout ones, there's only these, the Spirit Dot 2s and the Spirit X2. Now these are the only ones that are IPX7 and sweat protected. Now the Spirit X2s, I actually had them and tried them out, and there were a couple of things I couldn't get on with them. Firstly, it was the fit, the way they fit into your ear. They're a lot bulkier, and you have them here and you kind of twist them in. I just couldn't get a good fit, and after running around or jumping around, they would be very loose and just not working particularly well. They did have better sound quality though, so that was one plus they had, and they did have a longer battery life. But yeah, of course, there are a lot of other brands. I haven't tested many. I did have the Musili True Wireless, these about a few months ago. I had them for a few weeks, and after a few uses, one of the earbuds stopped working, and I wasn't really very impressed by that, to be quite honest. So maybe Musili is one to avoid. But honestly, I haven't tried many other brands. Sorry, that isn't a particularly useful thing for a reviewer to say, is it? Just try a few out and see what you think. So that is my review of the Anker Spirit Dot 2s, and I guess to wrap it up, I'd say they get the basics right for a workout bud, because they have a really good fit, and yeah, they're comfortable and they're customizable. Where they're let down maybe is pretty much just a very average sound quality, average battery life. There's that weird volume issue, which I'm not sure again if it's just my end, but it's something to watch out for. But yeah, overall, they fulfill the purpose of Workout Bud really well, and so it's hard for me to complain from that perspective. But if you're looking for a high quality listening experience, I'd look elsewhere for sure. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on these little earbuds, and if you have any other questions, put them in the comments, drop it a like, and subscribe for more kind of tech reviews and content that I'll be making, and I'll catch you in the next one.